Hello guys, Chris here, welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm gonna be testing a GeForce GTX 1660 Super in GTA 5. This one is the HP OEM version of the card. We are running it with the latest Nvidia drivers and I'm not manually overclocking it. You can see all of its specs right here in Tech Power-Ups GPU Z, and over on the left, we're pairing it with a Ryzen 5 3600X and 16GB of RAM in dual channel, 3200 MHz. And for once, these are very adequate specs for a GTX 1660 Super. And they'll also bottleneck it a little bit at 1080p, but not at higher resolutions. So let's get right into it, shall we? Alright, let's go over the settings first. I'm starting at 1080p resolution, and we're also going to test 1440p and 4K. We're using 2x MSAA right here, just because we can. And over on the settings, we're using the very high settings. It's not maxed out. The grass quality is set to high instead of very high or ultra. This is a very intensive setting, and I recommend you to set it to high. Post effects are also set to normal because it introduces motion blur as well as bloom, and it's really ugly in this game actually. And over on the advanced settings, everything is turned off. And let's go. As you can see, it is getting pretty good FPS, my friends, and it feels buttery smooth because I'm running 120 Hz. Okay, this is great. It's only gonna work at 1080p because of the capture card, but yeah, I really enjoy this smoothness. It's amazing. I actually need to buy one of those new capture cards that are HDMI 2.1 and support 144 Hz at 4K. Can't wait for that, my friends. I've been stuck with 60 Hz testing video games in 4K forever, basically. And this is basically gonna change my life. Anyways, you can see that GPU utilization is fluctuating a little bit, around like 90 to 95% most of the time, which indicates a slight CPU bottleneck here with the 3600X. So if I had paired it with like a Ryzen 5 5600X instead of the 3600X, I don't have the 5600X though, it would actually max out GPU utilization and end up getting slightly higher FPS. But you know, the experience, the overall experience, would still be the same, okay? I'm not really hitting people to... Oh, God! Why did I talk about that? Damn it! Okay, well, I don't care anymore. Get out of the way. But yeah, the 1660 Super would be capable of achieving slightly higher FPS. Now, there is an area, Jack's Hill, which is very, very intensive for the GPU, and we will always be GPU bound there. And as you can see, finally we're here. It drops into the 80s and 90s, which is still very smooth on a high refresh rate monitor, guys. Hello, Jack. How's it going, buddy? Everything all right? Oh, he answered us today, my friends. Good stuff. Good to know that you're okay, buddy. Anyways, inside of these bushes, it doesn't seem to drop from 80 FPS, so you can play this game very comfortably. Goodbye, Bob! At 1080p resolution, even with 2x MSAA and very high settings. And again, I really recommend you to utilize these settings that I'm using at the moment. And if you're wondering about FPS without the MSAA enabled here, I'm gonna turn that off, and you can see that the FPS are basically the same, but GPU usage is a little bit lower because of that 3600X. Again, if I had paired it with like a 5800X 3D, unfortunately I don't have that CPU anymore. I sold it, guys, because the motherboard on that system died. I also sold the 13600K because it was giving me blue screens out of the blue. So now all I have for higher end GPUs is the 7950X 3D. Which one of you is Bob? Doesn't matter. Goodbye, Bobs! I now have a budget to buy a new Intel CPU for my Intel motherboard. Currently, I have the Celeron G6900 there, and a Sunday video will come on that, finally. It should be very interesting. But yeah, let me know what you guys would like to see on the Intel platform LGA 1700. Moving on, let's bump it up to 1440p. Please work, menu. Gosh, the menus in GTA are so broken sometimes. Here we go. 2560 by 1440 is now the resolution. No MSAA, alright, and the very high settings. And yeah, it's still getting pretty high frames, guys. Very similar to 1080p with 2x MSAA indeed. So that means that GPU usage is still not at 99% all of the time. But again, it's close enough. You know, you'd get like 5 more FPS at 99%. And you know what? A lot of people say that the 1660 Super isn't really a 1440p card, and it isn't in newer titles, but in these older games, especially games from, oh boy, up to 2020, okay, they will work extremely well on a 1660 Super, even at 1440p resolution, guys. I have played many games on a GTX 1660 Ti, which is about like 5% faster than this. Not even that, actually. They're very similar in performance. And I used the D1660 Ti as my main GPU along with the 5700 XT sometimes for a really long time, during like a year or two between like 2019 and 2021. And I had a ton of fun, guys, playing games at 1440p with the 1660 Super. The Ti, actually, which is kind of the same again. Also, around this area, it seems to be GPU bound 99% of the time, or 100% of the time, I guess. It's at 99% all of the time there. And that's because we have a bit more vegetation around these roads. Oh boy, I think I saw Jack. No, it's some Jack's friends or something. What the hell? Oh, the guy's dead. Oh, okay, it's fine, buddy. Alright, a lot of bushes around here, dropping down into the 70s. Again, it's really similar to the 1080p 2x MSAA experience in GTA 5. So if you want some 1440p with a 1660 Super, feel free to do so. Now, what if we want a little bit sharper visuals? Because the game is pretty shimmery, you know, at the default resolutions, and the 2x MSAA will fix that for 1440p especially, but it's dropping our FPS into the 60s already, and we're not in a very intensive area yet, or inside of bushes and so on. As you can see, inside of these bushes, it does dip into the mid-50s at times. I mean, this is not really a deal breaker if you want a little bit higher visual fidelity from your game. Enable 2x. Oh, so sorry, I didn't even touch the... Come on, seriously? But yeah, if you want a little bit more visual fidelity and the jagged edges actually bother you a lot in this game, and I can see a lot of people who definitely are bothered by that, feel free to enable 2x MSAA. It's still gonna work really well. It's only gonna drop really inside of those bushy areas and the grass areas, basically foresty areas, you know, or parks. This is actually how I'd play this, you know, because you wouldn't really benefit from higher FPS anyways, and the experience is visually quite a bit better. Oh my gosh, we got 4 stars now. Whoa, no, my god. Oh boy, this is a different hospital. I've never been to this one before. At least not in videos, you know. I usually stick to the city. Oh my god, what the hell? I just came out of the hospital. What are you doing? Like, the guy is really far away at this point. Burn in hell? What? What are you doing? Seriously? You're gonna run? Alright, I'm gonna run with you, friend. No, but we need to move on to 4K resolution, alright? Here we go. 3840 by 2160 is now the resolution. I'm not using MSAA, and I won't because 4K is very intensive, of course. Start counting our FPS. It looks very good, guys. I'm actually using a 4K monitor right now, and it's kind of insane. Like, it still has pretty good looking textures, this game, especially compared with some of the newer titles. A lot of new games on like low or medium textures do look worse than this, and they consume a lot more VRAM as well. Oh, we're really far away from the city. Where is the city? Wait a second. I need to check my map. We need to go in that direction, so the opposite direction right there. Okay. Holy crap, we're so far away. Oh, look at this. It's a swamp area, just like in Red Dead Redemption 2. Oh boy, there we go. I'm fine. The ragdolls are also amazing in this game. I really like them. Not as good as GTA 4's ragdolls, but still. Okay, now I got the bike over here. This is also a really intensive area, by the way, because we see a lot of grass. It might actually be more intensive than Jack's Hill around here, because this is more dense grass, you know, it's bigger grass as well, and it's super intensive. It's bringing our GTX 1660 Super to its knees at the moment. But hey, this is 4K here, and it's still handling it. It's not 60 FPS, it's actually far from it, on average 48 there. The 1% lows are rough in the 30s, but it's still better than something like a PS4 Pro. And if you want to hook up your 1660 Super, your PC, to your TV, a 4K TV for example, in your living room, and play GTA 5 with a controller, even if you don't lock FPS to 30, it's gonna provide a smoother and more enjoyable... Oh my god. See, that's why you wear a helmet. If I didn't have the helmet, I would be dead at this point. Holy crap. Hello, Jack. How's it going? Oh, I can see his fur at the moment, guys. At 4K resolution. I couldn't really see that at 1080p, I believe. But at 4K, damn, Jack looks very, very good. 35 right here inside of these bushes. Yep, it's only gonna dip into like the low 30s, not from 30. Goodbye, Bob. That was a nice shotgun shot right there, guys. And I guess that's it for 4K resolution. It runs pretty well. It's not 60 plus FPS all of the time, obviously, but it's still very manageable in my opinion, guys. So, yeah, there's that. And you could definitely lower it down to, for example, high settings, which I'm gonna do right now, and probably get like 60 FPS, and this is it. I'm gonna restart the game with these settings now, and look at that. Around here we're getting 70s and 80s, and the graphics, well, they look a little bit worse, of course, but it's not noticeably worse, right? Like, if you're not really comparing things side by side, I doubt many people would be able to tell a difference. Can we get 69 average? That would be perfect, guys. Alright, oh boy, god damn, okay. This is the great scalability of this game, guys. You can adjust a ton of settings and they will impact performance. It's not like in Call of Duty Warzone, for example, where from low to ultra there's like a 20 FPS difference. This is huge. From very high to high, we gained like 20 frames per second or more. Hello, Jack! Oh boy, come on. Okay, I'm driving very poorly here today. Also, 52 FPS, 1% lows. I didn't notice if it actually dropped there in the bushes, but let's check it out. Yeah, it definitely does drop. Okay, 51, 50. But still, again, it only drops around here, so it's not a big deal. Bob! Bob! Yes, sir. Oh my god! What? How did I die like that? Alright then. Oh, beautiful, beautiful lighting right here. Sunset time. Great stuff, guys, but let's enjoy it at 8K resolution. Okay, this is it. 7680 by 4320 is now the resolution using the same high settings. It's a terrible idea to use high settings with this. But hey, it's still getting like 20s, which is not absolutely awful, you know. I mean, if we drop it down to low or normal settings, again, GTA is very scalable, so we might actually see 30 FPS at 8K with a 1660 Super, guys. Obviously, though, in Jack's Hill, things are different. It's probably gonna drop into, like, the low teens with these settings that we're utilizing right now, and the normal settings will probably drop into, like, the 20s. I can't do this. Okay, let's just do normal settings, which are the lowest in this game. All right, this is it. 8K resolution using normal settings, guys. This is the lowest, again, with shadows enabled. You could disable shadows in the config files, but I don't recommend it. It'll look like GTA San Andreas at that point. Well, it is possible to achieve those 30s that I was telling you about around here. Instead of getting like low 20s, we're now even hitting 40 frames per second, which is very impressive. 1660 Super showing its muscles right here, my friends. It's absolutely beautiful. Well, it's not really as beautiful because it's normal settings now, but hey. You can see that it already swapped some of the things that should be on VRAM into the RAM, because the RAM usage went up as well. And around here, of course, it still dips into the 20s, so it's not really a playable experience. But in my opinion, it's still interesting to take a look at this. Hello, Jacqueline. How's it going? Jacqueline also showed up here at 4K normal settings, so this benchmark is complete at this point, basically. All that's left to do is test like 12K. Because why not, right? It's working. All right, you know what? First, I will try 10K, which is 25% higher than 8K resolution, of course. So 1.25x. And, oh boy. Oh, come on, come on. I don't seem to be able to accept this to keep the new settings. I don't think it worked, guys. Maybe it did at the last second? Because we're getting 2 FPS after all. Yep, VRAM usage went down because it swapped a lot of things now into the RAM. RAM is at 12 gigs, and we're getting 1 FPS. So this is 10K resolution, guys. Holy crap. If it had more VRAM, we would get more FPS. Alright, so now that's been it for this one. I'm not gonna attempt higher resolutions because it's just gonna crash, really. Thanks very much for watching this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you in the next one very soon. It's still moving. I'm not touching the mouse anymore, but it's still going. Oh, wait, I've never noticed this, but we can see little bugs flying around. What? That's crazy. They're everywhere. So that's the benefit of 10K resolution, apparently. Also, if you want to see 10K, 12K, and 16K being playable, check out my review of GTA 5 on the RTX 4090. I'll link it down below. Thanks for watching again. Love you all. Bye-bye.